Hi, my lovely Capricorn. Welcome to your June reading. This is Trishna. This is the Capricorn reading for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and or Rising. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And remember that energies can be mirrored. Also, if you're interested in getting a personal reading, you can find me in my Etsy shop at www.etsy.com/shop/psychicts. You can find the link in the description box below as well. I have over 700 sales on Etsy alone. Obviously, I read on other platforms too. And I have 200 5-star reviews on Etsy alone. So, Cappies, let's get into your reading for June. Capricorn, I'm feeling some excitement in your energy. I am also feeling a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes, Capricorn, when you get excited, you can also get anxious. Like the two kind of go hand in hand. It's almost like when you have the excitement, there's also kind of the darker element of nervousness. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I'm looking forward to this, but I'm also worried about it. That likely comes from the fact that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and so there is a sense of discipline and there's a sense of having to be perfect. If we don't get it perfect, then we will get disciplined. So we get excited about things, but then we also worry about all the things that could go wrong about the thing that we're excited about. And so we get excited, but we don't always want to show it fully, or we don't always want to jump into celebration mode, not until everything has been complete. You know, if you were, let's say, hosting a big party or something like that, you'd be excited about it, but you wouldn't consider it a win, even if you're having a great time in the middle of the party, or even if you're having a great time setting it up. You won't consider it a win until the party is done, and even then sometimes until you hear people saying, that was amazing, that was so much fun. Like only then, and even then you'll question it. So Capricorn, there are exciting things coming this month. I do feel like though this month is, there are exciting things coming this month, but I do also feel like this month is going to be a little bit slow in terms of some of the things that you want or some of the things that you're excited about. So I feel like the first 2 weeks of June are going to bring a lot of things that you're looking for, or at least big things that you're looking for, or at least like something that seems very tangible and that it is going to work out. But maybe the second half of June is going to be a little bit slower, like you're waiting on something or you're not really hearing back on something and you're like, is this going to really happen? Or am I really preparing for what's to come enough? Am I doing enough? So the second 2 weeks of June are going to be a little bit slower, and maybe the excitement will start turning into concern. I don't feel like the concern will be super major. To be honest, I feel like the nervousness and the excitement that are more intense, like the nervousness that's more intense is the first 2 weeks. So really the month gets a little bit better, even though it gets slower. But I do feel like June is going to be a really good month for you, especially the first 2 weeks to the middle of, I do think July, July is going to be a very good month for you. I feel like August is going to be a little bit more intense. It's almost like you have a lot more to do or a lot more responsibility, or things could go wrong more. Like they're not going to go wrong, but there is a higher probability that they will. And so you're going to be wanting to work harder during August, really wanting to make sure that you have all your facts straight, everything is ticked and tied. August seems like it's going to be a bit more intense, especially the first 2 to 3 weeks of it. And then I think you'll be able to chill out a lot in September. Like a lot. You'll be like, I can finally relax. And your body, all the muscles in your body might be intense in August. And then in September, they're just kind of like, zen. And you'll be able to enjoy life, like your personal life. And you're going to feel cozy and you're going to feel at home. You're going to start feeling not completely grounded, but you're going to start working on being grounded again. So Capricorn, I feel like there are good things to come. June, July, and even August. It's going to be intense, but you're going to make it through. You're going to make it through, and you might make it through way better than you thought. You might get a lot of visibility that you weren't really expecting. It may come out of the blue. Or maybe the thing that you're going to be working on that you really have to make sure is right, is going to get a lot of visibility, and that's what stresses you out, and then you're not going to know what they're going to think, but they're going to think really, really well of you. So I think even though August is going to be tense, it's going to lead to visibility, being noticed, recognition, and that launching you really, really well. And then you're going to be able to chill more in September and actually enjoy it. So, good things to come, a journey, but good things to come throughout the process. You may be wondering, okay, so Trishna, universe, you're right. I get a little anxious about things, okay? I stress out, okay? Okay, fine, sure, I admit it. But how do I stop that? That's a good question. That's a question that I feel like you should ask your higher self, or that you should ask your soul. Hey, soul, how can I let that go? At least a little, you know? How can I enjoy life more? How can I release this constant need to be perfect and disciplined? How can I release this fear of being whipped, you know, reprimanded? If I'm not perfect, even though my less than perfect is better than everybody else around me, I feel like I'm going to be the one that's targeted and reprimanded. And maybe that is something that has actually happened to you many times, because you are so responsible. You do so much. You put in like 120, 130%. And then if you just fall down to 120, let's say you put in 130, you just fall down to like 110% all of a sudden. Everybody's like, what the hell? How dare you, Capricorn? You should be performing at 130%. You should be performing at 140%. You know, and everybody else is performing at like 90%, right? But you're the one that gets noticed that way. So maybe that's actually happened, and that's maybe where the anxiety comes from. The universe says, ask yourself this question, but also we will tell you an answer here. We won't leave you completely hanging. The answer is ground. Grounding is very, very important for you, Capricorn. You may feel like you don't have the time to do it every day. You may feel like it's a waste of your time. You may feel like you have more important things to do, Capricorn. But it does not need to take long. And it's very important for you. You are an earth sign. Grounding is very, very important for you. So you either need to go out and touch soil or grass, or you need to take some deep breaths for like 5 minutes. Just kind of chill out, take a deep breath in and feel it activating your body. Take deep breaths out and feel your body relaxing. In, body activation. Out, everything relaxing. Just do that for a few minutes. Any time of the day. If you're too busy in the morning, or you feel like, no, I gotta boom, 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 boom in the morning, gotta do my thing, gotta keep with my routine, gotta keep with my process, keep with my flow, that's fine. But then around lunch, when you have just 5 minutes, that's all that it takes. You do it at lunch. And if you can do it 3 times a day, better. But even once will already change your life. It'll change your life within 7 days. You'll notice it. And you know what? If you do this, maybe August won't be quite as crazy feeling, but just make sure that even if you're not feeling super like tense in August, make sure that you do put in the work still. Like, don't let the relaxation kind of make you think, it'll be fine. Make sure you put in the work, because the work is what's going to get you recognized. So the work part is very, very important. So you definitely don't want to slack. Cards falling everywhere, left and right. What about love? Because a lot of what we talked about might be more applicable to career. Could be love, but what about love specifically? Love does not feel like it's going to be taking the forefront of your attention this month. I think it'll take more of your attention in July, and it'll be very positive. I think in August, love will be a little bit tense for you, because you'll be tense about work, and you'll need to put in more time, and that might not rub your partner the right way if you're putting in more time. But you got to do what you got to do, okay? This is important. What happens for you in August is very, very important, because it will really set you up for success, like seriously. So if you are able to let your partner know in advance, be like, hey, I just got this thing dumped on me. It's gonna be a little bit crazy, a little bit hectic for me for the next 3 weeks. That can maybe help. But if they're saying, well, you should have more balance, or, I don't really like the way that you're managing your career and your hours, you need to not listen to that. You need to let that go. You need to let them say whatever they're going to say, but then you need to delete it from your brain because you got to do what you got to do. And from their perspective, they might feel like, well, we just had an amazing July and now all of a sudden that's getting ripped from me. So they're not coming from a bad place, but Capricorn, it's really important that you understand the importance of your career. Like, you know that, but do you know that in the context of other people's opinions? Do you value yourself enough to do what you got to do? To get what you got to get? To get what's yours? Because whatever you're going to get in August is long overdue. Like, you deserve that maybe a decade ago. So you got to take it. You don't want to wait another decade. And you got to know that that responsibility is all on you. Don't let yourself make excuses for missing this shot. Don't let love come in the way. Love should support you as much as you support it. Anything else for June for Cappies? No, those are the main messages. So let's go ahead and let's look at the cards. This is a month where you may feel inclined to take a lot of action. Capricorn, I'm not sure this is necessarily the month to do that. Now, if you have certain deadlines that you have to meet, then of course you take action. But don't try to create projects or create work for yourself where it doesn't need to be created. Instead, use that time to create inner work for yourself. What do I think about my career in relation to relationship? What do I think about my career in general? How do I feel about my career? How do I feel about advancing? How do I feel about prioritizing it? What aspects do I enjoy about it? What aspects do I want more of? How do I feel about my colleagues? How might I be able to make my relationships with my colleagues stronger, better, more healed? How might I be able to help us enjoy our professional relationship more, have more fun with it? How can I create an environment where I am, where it feels more like home and not like just work, where I feel safe and comfortable? How can I ground more? Maybe I need to go on walks or hikes once a week on the weekends. Maybe I need to start drinking some herbal teas. Maybe I need to start having a bedtime routine that relaxes me and allows me to have really good sleep so I wake up feeling really good and grounded. So this is a time for inner exploration. You can kind of see that with the Death card here. There have been some seeds that you planted, Capricorn. You're not really sure if they're going to grow. You're not really sure if you even planted them right to begin with. I think they are going to take a little while to pop out of the ground. So I was saying this month might be a little bit slow in the second half. But I think you'll get enough in the first 2 weeks to make whatever else you've planted less important or less necessary. And you might even be able to just let them go and plant new things in the second half of July. Maybe these things that you've planted that you've wanted for yourself don't really matter anymore. They're just not going to be as relevant or as interesting to you anymore. And that's okay. Because you may be going through some changes this month that I feel are going to be positive. Again, transformation here. Something you worked on for a really long time is going to start coming to fruition. It feels like it's been moving at a snail's pace. And it might still move at a snail's pace. But you're going to feel good about it in the end. But right now it does feel exhausting. It does feel like, is this ever going to happen though? Like, even if they say it's going to happen, can I believe that? Like, I don't know. Whatever's keeping you up at night, Capricorn, you got to resolve it. I don't feel like it's something that you need to be worried about. So if it's something, I feel like it's a very internal thing. It could be external, but I feel like the turmoil is not what's the external, it's the internal. Like maybe it's been resolved in the external, or maybe the external doesn't really require that much of you, but the feelings that you have about it, intense. You might not be feeling this right now, but maybe around the middle of June. So now you know now that it's not going to be quite as intense in the real world as it is in your inner world. And you just have to manage it in the inner world. Be grounded, ask questions. Why is this bothering me? What is this wanting to call to my attention about myself? How can I resolve this internal turmoil that I am dealing with right now? How can I understand the difference between internal world and external world and create a clear separation so I can manage the internal world better? You may feel alone on your journey at times, Capricorn. You may also have had to be tight with money or tight-lipped about something. You're not as alone as you think, but you're not as unalone as you hope. But you're not as alone as you think. And I think this, however you're feeling alone or unsupported or not fully supported, that can change. But you have to do this kind of work of, okay, in what ways do I feel not fully supported? And how is that making me feel about myself and about the other party that may be involved? And how can I go about feeling differently? And what can be done to create more support here, if anything? And I think just in that understanding, you'll feel like you have a plan or a direction or clarity, and you will let go of a lot of what's keeping you up at night. Sometimes it can take a little while for people to support us fully just because they're dealing with their own self. But remember, see, this is why the August message is so important. You got to make sure that you're taking care of what you need to take care of that month. Because maybe the people that you need to support you just can't because they're too wrapped up in themselves. And you can't let that derail you. Not in August. There are times to listen to things like that. And there are times when you got to listen to you. August is when you got to listen to you. Don't let others impose rules on you. At least not in the personal realm. Obviously in the career realm, sometimes it is what it is. And in fact, I feel like if you follow some of the structures in the career realm, you will end up on top. So it might be good to follow the rules. This to me feels like July. I don't know why we're talking about July and August when we're trying to talk about June, but it feels like most of the discussion's there. So I guess June's going to be a little bit of a slower month. And so maybe talking about the future will help you prepare now in the slower month to be ready for those months. But Capricorn, you're building something new here. So there's definitely a month of exploring, okay, like lots of questions this month for you to ask yourself. What am I building? How do I want to build it? What do I want it to look like? What materials do I want to use? All the possibilities are endless. Endless possibilities for you. You can create anything that you want. The question is, what do you want? And there's no wrong answer. And this gets to be a month where you get to explore that. And that's fun and that's exciting. Because Capricorn, I don't think you give yourself enough time to do that. I think you love the idea of dreaming and the idea of intention setting, but sometimes like you just don't have the time to sit down and do that or the patience to do that. you're like, I'll get to it when I get to it, or hopefully the universe knows what I want, so, it will just give it to me while I keep my nose down and keep working hard. And those are fine approaches, especially the second one, just kind of working, allowing the universe to give to you. But I think sometimes it can be more satisfying for us to ask these questions, answer these questions, and then watch it all happen, knowing that we help shape it with our minds, not just with our soul. I think you're very loved, Capricorn. You may have some feelings this month that make you question that, make you see things in a way that is not necessarily accurate to reality. So I feel like this is a month to not bring about endings. This is a month to not trust your own mind and feelings, because your judgment may be clouded, and to instead focus on grounding, being open to changes, thinking about what you want to create, releasing anxiety. I think that would bring you Ten of Cups. So this month has the potential for this Ten of Cups. So many of you Capricorns may just experience this, the happiness, the joy, the love, the connection. You may not even experience any of this other stuff. But if you do start to ask yourself these questions, and you will bring yourself back to this energy that you can totally claim this month. So it seems a little intense when we got to the cards. Like when we're talking about the intuitive portion, it was a little bit more like chill and relaxed. That energy is still there. Every Capricorn is going to have a different experience, but that energy exists no matter what experience you're having. And so all you need to do is work on the things we talked about if you're not having that good experience, and it will bring you to that good experience by the end of June. You will walk away from June feeling really good, really transformed, really powerful, really strong, really clear, especially if you have to go through this the hard way, especially if you didn't just automatically get the 10 of Cups the whole month. You will walk away feeling even better than the 10 of Cups, because you explored all of this and came to clarity and came to union with yourself, and now have a vision that you're looking for. Capricorn, I think sometimes you get so focused on your work and doing the things that you forget to have your vision. You forget to come up with your vision. You forget to reconnect with your vision. And then you just come off to others as not being strategic, or you feel yourself like, where even am I? I did all this stuff, cool, but like, where am I now? So I think vision's important this month as well. So a lot of questions, and those questions lead you to the vision. And then that vision is that star that you naturally work towards and that you are aligned with, because now you have come to clarity about it. So Capricorn, I'm going to leave you here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful June. Remember, this is available for you. You can totally have this and this. So have a beautiful June, and I will catch you in the next one.